This is Chris Kopp, Director of Physical Therapy for Premier Physical Therapy here in Jacksonville, Florida. One of the common questions I get a lot of times, either online or at running clinics, is, Chris, why does my knee hurt when I run? Or I've been told I have IT band syndrome, or what is chondromalacia patella, or anterior knee pain I get on a lot of times on a prescription from a physician. You know, all those things really just mean knee pain, and there's a variety of things that can cause us to have our knees hurt with functional activities based on anatomy and biomechanics and flexibility and strength and a lot of issues like that. So I'm going to review a couple tests and some fixes that I think are common causes and hopefully solutions to knee pain with running and functional activities. So we have 3 tests that we can do to try to determine where our knee pain is really coming from. We talked about some things maybe on the side of the knee. It could be some tightness in the front of our hip, maybe some tightness in the back of our hip, weakness here, which is pretty common, or tightness in our calf and our ankle. So the first test we really like to do is called a deep squat test. So what you do, barefoot, shoulder width apart, arms over your head, and see if you can just go down into a full deep squat and come back up. Can you do that without pain? Can you go all the way down? You want to kind of do this in front of a mirror, because some of the common sensations that we would see would be our knees coming together, or our feet collapsing down. I'll kind of do that from behind so maybe you can see a little bit more. So this would be a compensation, kind of this collapsing down situation, or not really being able to go down all the way, kind of like that. Okay. So if you figure that's in your ankle, what you could do is you put something down like this, a 2x4, a book, kind of a folded up towel, and you try the same thing again. And now is that a lot easier to do? Like I can go almost all the way down. I'll do it from the side so you guys can see. Something like that. You can go into a full deep squat, no problem, without the board. Can't do it very easily. Okay? So that's the deep squat with and without a towel. And then I'll show you the fix for the calf on that. Sometimes it could be something in the front of our hip as well. And this is called a Thomas test. You'll sit on the edge of a table or a bed. You're going to grab your other knee, kind of bring it up as high as you can, kind of carefully lean backwards, and let this leg just fall to the ground. And a good flexibility of your hip flexors is this leg should be pretty much close to the surface, or at least parallel, a little bit below, and our foot's almost pointing straight to the ground, maybe up in the air a little bit. A positive test of some tightness in this area is your leg would kind of look like that when you came down. Out to the side, maybe rotated, IT band, tensor vasculata, hip flexors, a bunch of things in this area here that again is putting a lot of pressure in the system. And then the third thing that we see, which is very common, is weakness of the hip. So tightness in the calf, tightness in the front of the hip, but a big problem a lot of times is weakness in this glute med muscle. It really causes us to sort of collapse down, and the fix for that, or the test for that, would be, can you just pick your leg up and down, keeping your hips right in line without cheating or compensating. And you should be able to do this 20 to 30 times without fatigue. Compensations on here would be kind of rolling backwards, or tipping your foot toward the ceiling to do it, or again, just not being able to do it very easily, or cramping and fatigue very quickly. All right, and then we'll show you the 3 fixes for those 3 problems. So we talked about tightness in the calf and the ankle with the deep squat test. That was positive on you, where putting the towel under your heels felt better or was easier to do. Most likely we got some sort of tightness in our calf complex. Here's the stretch. You're going to lean against something, against a wall. The big key is this back leg, this knee is straight, and that big toe down there, you need to keep your big toe in the air. That actually keeps the arch of the foot up and keeps you from cheating, and is a much more pure stretch, and you'll feel it. If you let that big toe go down, again, you'll be able to do something like that, which is kind of that collapsing that we're talking about. So, big toe up, arch up, and a nice straight lean like that. 20 seconds, a lot of debates about stretching. 20 seconds to 30 seconds is a good amount of stretching, several times. And then you also want to do one with your knee kind of bent as well. Again, a little harder to keep your big toe up on this one, but do it again with the knee bent. Nice, good posture, 20 to 30 seconds. both sides. We have that. Then we have for the tight of the hip, so that Thomas test was positive to you, leg out to the side, hanging in the air. We have a little forward lean, again, good straight back, tummy tucked, stretch to the front of the hip. You can even lean a little over. You can even add a little extra stretch this way if you felt like your leg was hanging out to the side. And then the third thing for most everybody, I would say across the board, is our clam exercise. The keys to the clams, hips on top of each other. We're gonna have a little hollow underneath you here. That really, so you're gonna kind of drive that top hip away from your shoulder, and you're just opening and closing like opening and closing a clam. Again, we're looking for a good 30 repetition on this before fatigue. Most people are gonna get tired around 10 or 12 repetitions. You really wanna try and get to 30 reps, both sides. These exercises I would do several times a day and build your strength up and see how that does. So I hope those tests and a couple basic solutions will help you out. Obviously, it's a lot more complicated than just 3 tests and 3 fixes, but those are things that we see that are pretty common and hopefully will give you some help. If you want to schedule a runner's evaluation for me, with me, you can just call at 904-996-6922, PremierPTJax.com. You can reach me through there, through email, and obviously just find us online if you're not here locally, and contact me and I'll try to help you out or direct you to somebody who could in your area.